Now, Savages is the name of the only all-female band on this year's Mercury Prize list. Their style is described as post-punk, and their debut album is Silence Yourself. The four wear black, and their music bears little resemblance to the sound of today's pop charts. Earlier this month, the guitarist Gemma Thompson spoke to us about their music manifesto and explained where the name Savages came from.
The name Savages comes from this idea of people now not being so evolved, of simplicity, of directness in sound, in performance. This simple idea of a primitive form of four people on stage to try and get a kind of animalistic, real physical energy across. Just to kind of let that idea shape how we write the music. And using a setup of drums, bass, guitar and voice as a very straightforward kind of punch in the face. As soon as we started to play live, it was just kind of the sound that took over and the sound that people were first hit by. And then maybe they realised we were all women playing this music. We just picked up our instruments because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to keep real control over what we were doing, how we put ourselves out there and who we work with. It's Jen that writes all of these little manifestos. We didn't want someone to write a press release for us. We wanted to write something for ourselves, words to kind of say what we were about. And once we wrote those down, they also became really important for us. When we would go into a rehearsal studio, when we would perform, it's almost like you write down your intentions and then you follow those intentions. So the first one was to create an indestructible sound, to try and create an armour for ourselves, to set up what we wanted to do live, and then to think about what the reason behind what we were doing was. The reason you create any art is to try and understand your lives a bit better, is to try and understand your relationships. As we wrote more, that would come from experiences, people we would meet along the way, other young musicians that were kind of manipulated by people they thought they trusted. So we realised that you really have to be strong-minded and know your way and know why you're playing what you are. People have always believed we should go a certain route because we are women doing what we are doing. And we've kind of got this far doing what we're doing just because we love doing it. That's why Jen's always written these manifestos to try and not let people veer you off what you want to do. Young women, when they come up to us after the show, they say things like, oh, I'm playing bass, or I'm playing guitar, or I've started this band. I think they really do see us as a kind of influence in that case. We're kind of uncompromising in the way we want to play, you know, just because we're women. We don't see that we should play any differently. I'd like to think we are an empowering force. There has to be an aggression in what we play, certainly in the genre that we were in. You really push yourselves, maybe by using aggression, just really pushing yourself in physicality and emotion. You can really understand yourself a lot more. I don't think we see ourselves as feminists, but I think we love this idea that the actions you do can kind of really influence young women. We each grew up very differently, but with the idea that you can achieve whatever you wanted. Even though at the beginning I would be in various bands with boys, with men, that just always tried to push what I wanted to do. I think that was the same for each of us individually. We never tried to let our gender get in the way. But it is about being uncompromising in what we do, trying to keep true to yourself. And that's what we really respect. It would be great to see more young women doing that.
Savages. And the winner of this year's Mercury Music Prize will be announced this evening. Also nominated are Laura Mvula, who played for us earlier this year, and Laura Marling,